Welcome back to another GeekaWhat video. Today I'm taking you over the best $400 gaming PC build for the months of September and October 2016. I'll leave links to all products mentioned for both Amazon and PC Part Picker in the description below, and make sure to drop a like rating, and let's get straight into it with what you can expect in terms of performance. In terms of the latest AAA titles, so we're talking GTA 5, The Witcher 3 and Overwatch, those kind of titles, you're going to be expecting between 30 and 60 frames per second at 1080p medium settings. I would recommend that you turn anti-aliasing down a notch as well, because this is going to give you some better frame rates. You're also going to be looking at high and ultra settings in some of the slightly older games such as CSGO, World of Warcraft, League of Legends, and of course Minecraft. And let's go over the parts making this all possible, kicking it off as always with the CPU. AMD's Athlon X4 860K is a quad-core CPU, meaning compatibility for pretty much all of the latest AAA titles, and comes clocked at 3.7 GHz. 3.7 GHz is a very healthy clock speed. There's no need for overclocking at all at this speed, however you can do it if you would like to bag yourself some free performance. AMD, this is one of their best chips in my opinion in terms of value, and definitely holds its own with the configuration we've gone for. In terms of the motherboard, you need something with an FM2 Plus socket that can house this FM2 Plus CPU. ASRock's FM2 A78M Pro 3 Plus is an incredibly long, stupidly named motherboard that performs very well. It also looks great and comes in at a very budget oriented price point, which is exactly what I wanted in this build. In terms of RAM, any 8GB DIMM of DDR3 1600MHz will do the job. It just happens that this G.Skill stuff is not only reliable but also looks great. 1x8GB stick is absolutely perfect for this build, as it will allow upgradability later on down the line. Say 6 months time you want to get another identical 8GB stick, you can do that and get a build with 16GB of RAM. Dual channel performance really won't kind of give you any extra gaming performance, and by that I mean 2 4GB DIMMs as opposed to 1 8. Not to mention 1 8GB DIMM is ultimately going to be cheaper because it's one set of materials as opposed to 2 heat spreaders, 2 PCBs, etc. etc. In terms of storage, 500GB in my opinion is not enough, and 1TB is a perfect amount. The Seagate Barracuda is a 3.5-inch hard drive with 7200 RPM speed. It's not SSD speed by any means, but 7200 RPM is as fast as those mainstream hard drives get. Not to mention 1TB or 1000GB of capacity will allow for a load of games, your Steam library, movies and music. Really is the perfect hard drive and comes in once again at a pretty good price point. In terms of GPU, I went for the XFX Radeon R7 360. It's got a 2GB frame buffer, 2GB of VRAM, which in my opinion is plenty for a system of this spec at 1080p. Many will question as to why I didn't go for the RX 460, which is a successor to this card. Now this is a relatively newly released card, the RX 460, but the pricing is incredibly volatile to say the least, and because everyone wants to get their hands on one, it's both out of stock everywhere and incredibly overpriced, so much so that it would shove this build way over budget. This is definitely the best card that fits into the price point, and that's why I went for it. The case is an old favourite of mine. Thermaltake's Versa H21 has support for ATX motherboards, full-size ATX power supplies. It looks great in my opinion and also comes in at a very good price. Providing a case has decent airflow and support for mounting the hardware you've chosen, it doesn't actually affect the performance, so there's no point in splurging out here because your games would actually look quite a bit worse. This is a great kind of contrast, if you will, and great compromise between pricing and kind of aesthetics. In terms of power supply, you don't want to cheap out, and that's why I went for the EVGA 430W 80 plus certified ATX power supply. So let me break that name down for you a little bit. This build in total consumes around 285 watts, meaning this 430W unit has plenty of headroom. The 80 plus certification is done externally by an external company and guarantees this power supply will run above 80% efficiency at all times, meaning it's going to output 80% of the power at all times that it says it will. EVGA are a very reputable brand of power supplies and also make some very high-end graphics cards and also some stuff at the budget end. A power supply technically has the capability to wipe out your whole system, which is why you want to go for something decent. You also don't need a 1500 watt 80 plus gold certified power supply. You need something of this caliber, and this EVGA one is definitely my favourite option at this price point and at this wattage. But if you did enjoy this video, you know what to do. Make sure to drop a like rating and as always to subscribe. subscribe. Check out some of my other content, other PC builds, and my review videos are also very, very popular. And as always, we will see you in the next GeekaWhat video.